Yes, and it's really it has come together, and we've had the resources to do it. The monies that were given to us.
They're
Right.
social media. But, I mean, they didn't even take this stuff to the next school.
See, I'm telling you, everything is here.
The entire kitchen's still here.
I mean,
It's just all up to date equipment.
$15 million worth of equipment.
Back, the big mixers, everything you can need to run a kitchen.
It's remarkable.
And for them, they simulate, suspect that could volunteers to simulate victims and too, so we have that capability. So on the law enforcement side, it's called alert.
Oh, yeah.
And so they'll respond, how they respond with a tactical team to triage.
Watch your step.
So,
PD?
how many of the local school police departments?
Not yet. So we have some on the schedule. Aren't lit, so it allows them to breach. But also, they can then decide whether they're going to bring in a portable light to the classroom so they can breach the doors. So far, we can't damage anything. So we've got a lot of doors that are locked, and they were locked when the school was abandoned. We've not been able to get into those classrooms. You'll see them taped up so they know which ones they can't get into. And the ones they can, we've left open for them. If you look in the classrooms, they had a water leak after the thieves stole the plumbing, so there's some places that they had to do damage control. But all the furniture in each classroom is still here.
So how far in advance do they need to ask?
The chairs, they move around. You would almost think someone's in here all the time, but the crews move them around to simulate barricades and barriers that they have to go through. This is one of those situations where they barricaded the door with a table. So in training, they're taught to avoid, deny, and defend. And so this is one of those deny access to the bad guy. So in order to simulate real world, the law enforcement response is secondary to the incident. The first responders are actually the students and the teachers that are here. So they've barricaded the door with this. When the SWAT team or the responding officers who are training come here to this facility, they encounter a barricade and have to get around that. So now we go in here. This is a dark opportunity. This is a low light situation for clearing out an area that could be inhabited with a bad guy. That's now the power is cut off to the facility. So they would come in here and simulate low light clearing. Sorry, I let you got you in the dark. Yeah. We leave dark for a reason. This is where the bomb squad was at last week doing booby trap training, and they use the night vision nod goggles that they've been afforded through federal grants. And so we do keep several corridors dark for a reason. It helps them train in that scenario as well. It's not unthinkable whether it not be a school, but in a hostage situation, they may have at other facilities power's turned off, so they have to come in the dark. Now this way. That's why the walls are so. Not too long before
And walked out.
This is the way to go.
That's the secondary story to this, is just how much got left behind.
Yeah.
We were actually shocked when they called us to come tour the facility. I'm like, oh, this is it.
Go for it, Steve, come on. He's still counting.
Scoreboard right there. And it's maybe 3 years old.
It's, Steve, it's staggering when you get to this whole place. There's millions of dollars worth of stuff here. And the investment.
Out, and it's a soap pellet. And it's,
Maybe have someone walk through and make sure it's not like a fire hazard.
yeah, we do have the fire marshals that come and make sure that we can be in the building. Yeah. Yeah. No, it was not that way. The only thing I can guess.
Do it, you leave it up to the professionals.
Just tell me what they've got going out here now.
Well, what we've done here is, back in 2018, Representative Steve Toth had gotten with a number of people with our sheriff's office, and they came up with a plan to train in the event of active shooters. It started out with private locations, but then it has evolved where we just felt like we needed to have a regional facility where we can have all the law enforcement agencies from around the area and our region to be able to come in here and train in whatever scenario they think they need to train in. Now, the beauty of this, well, the furniture and everything is here. A SWAT team can come in and they can set up rooms the way they want it, or the sheriff's office can come in. They can do it outside, inside. It's amazing what really is here. And our Office of Emergency Management has put this together, and we've done it using federal funds, ARPA funds, which are designed for just this very thing. And of course, as a result of what took place with Uvalde, this really kind of spurred us on to push harder, and here we are today. It's amazing.
Now, basically, the county's leasing this from the investment.
Yeah, we're
company.
leasing it, yeah. Mhm.
What kind of cost is it?
So I think it's $23,000 a month, and that we lease it for from a private equity firm, and who purchased this some time ago. The school has been abandoned for a year and a half, and so we've had to come in and do some refurbishing, make sure they had AC and airflow and that sort of thing, because that's the copper and some of the electronic things that are in here were stolen out of it after it was abandoned.
Just basically thieves breaking in.
Yeah,
Now, they've got air handlers and that outside. What does it cost on something
that's
like
correct,
that?
yeah.
What does it cost on something like that?
Well, you know,
Part of that's your own.
that's, thousands. We own about half of it, and by the time you figure gas and everything, you're looking at over $20,000 in rental and all the various other things that take place.
Who do you expect to come down here to use this facility?
Oh, man, we've had our office of, certainly our Office of Emergency Management, Sheriff's Office, his guys, SWAT team comes down here. People have come up here from Harris County, from various counties around us, and and they're loving it because nobody has anything like this. Now, in conjunction with Representative Toth, the idea here is that we can make this available statewide. Hopefully we'll get some state funding here to help facilitate this. And because we're going to do this, we have at least for about 6 months, and we'll just play it by ear depending upon who wants it. But it's groups all around that law enforcement agencies, even cities, whatever, can come out here and use this. We'll set it up, and they come in here. And the beauty of it is they'll come in, they'll set up a room or a gymnasium or a cafeteria exactly the way they want it, so they can create the right scenario. We have certain hallways that we have left dark with no lights, so they can use their night vision, and our bomb squad and whatnot come in and be trained.
Looks like the school's pretty well equipped here. I mean, the kitchen's still fully equipped.
Yeah,
kitchen.
yeah. What essentially they did was they left everything here when they moved to the new school up the street. It's all brand new up there.
All right.
Play trombone, French horn. This week, the C9 division of the sheriff's office had their dogs in here.
That's crazy. You know, when it's not your money, you're better at that than I am basketball.
Our marshal actually tried to go in here, things
I'm surprised when they come in here.
Let you watch, but you couldn't film or take pictures because it's proprietary. We don't want anyone to know how they stack up. Opposite of the door of the classroom, as they're coming down and they're clearing the door. Now this is one of the older parts of the school. First are large, they're heavy, and there's just a window, a safety window, where someone can't reach their hand in if they broke the glass.
Why they didn't even come to the county to see if the county was interested in this.
Using his printer? Yeah, I saw that. Is that, it's just,
See the label on it?
it's New Caney ISD and they didn't even take it.
Be a home run. Not necessarily, because the training staff is there already built in. So, I mean, just based on so it was the 2020, 2021 school year was the last year it was used. So just. Also a testament to how fast a building kind of decays and gets nasty.
No AC for a long time? Yes.
They're all over the place. So this certification is good through February of 2023. There's one down.
Steve, tell me about the plan for this school and how it's going to help around the state.
We're hoping that this will become a regional training center for multiple law enforcement and first responders from around the state of Texas. Primarily, though, that it'll be a model so that we can emulate this in other regions across the state of Texas.
I think you basically mentioned a while ago, I mean, back in Columbine days, it was stand back and wait, something like Uvalde almost, just stand back and wait before they go in. Able to be trained now to go in right away.
Right, so pre-Columbine, it was containment, and they waited until the hazard diminished for law enforcement. After Columbine, it was immediate response, where you'd penetrate the school and try and take out and neutralize the shooter. That's not going to happen unless there's training, and we saw that down in Uvalde. Uvalde's a classic example of law enforcement that probably wanted to do the right thing, but the training wasn't there to give them the spine and the backbone to be able to take out the shooter.
Basically, a school this size, I mean, there's basically very little has been changed. I mean, there's a lot of material that the district's left behind in this thing.
I mean, there has to be $100,000 of material in the school. You got both gymnasiums with brand new Nevco scoreboards in them, practically brand new, and you've got tens of thousands of dollars of furniture all over the place in this school. It's amazing. They just walked away from it.
Training now, coming from around the state, is this the state fund, will the state be able to fund something like this, help the county out later on, or how's this?
Yeah, it's my hope that on appropriations, we're going to find a way to make sure that we can do this all across the state of Texas. We don't need one of these in every county. There are 254 counties. But absolutely regionally, where you can take 10 or 20 counties that are adjacent to one of these facilities where they can come and practice.
And basically, it's a school. I mean, they can do whatever they want in here. And
Yep.
damaging doors or anything else,
Not a problem. Not a problem. I mean, that's what this is for. It's on their 9mm rounds, practice rounds all over the floor in here, where law enforcement has been coming and training. And this is the only way to really make sure that your guys are up to the task.
It needs to be looked at as well going forward. This is not a safe environment for, an individual active shooter situation where the teacher is trained to avoid and hide at all cost, and then defend themselves if they have to. But in this classroom, let's go into one. In the classroom, other than a chair or maybe a desk, there's not much they can use to defend themselves with. And so once that guy is in here.
So, yeah, it doesn't leave them any
Yeah.
space whatsoever
And
in
he's
this
got
layout.
tactical advantage almost
Yeah.
to 180 degrees of the room to shoot through at them while they're hiding. So,
You're right. So from line of sight,
Yeah.
you've got less than 10% of the
yes.
classroom.
Correct. They
Where
have
you
to
can
get over
hide.
here in the corner.
Yeah.
And as you know, in Uvalde, they found kids in one corner in one room and under their desk in the other. That's not the ideal situation. That is not doing the run, fight, hide model. That's
Jamie,
basically.
did I speak with you about Oak Ridge?
That's basically just.
So
set.
I had 6 teachers. I had 6 teachers, right? Tim Fox was one of them. Tim's probably one of the most prominent physics teachers in the state of Texas. And one of the teachers was from Hamburg, New York, Buffalo Bills fan. And she said, I can't deal with the fact that I sat for an hour and a half while we believed that there was an active shooter at Oak Ridge. And I said, what? She said, we had an active shooter, we thought we had an active shooter at Oak Ridge, and we cowered in the corner like this for an hour and a half. I thought my life was gonna end. We were told it was like 5 minutes, but even then, if it was 5 minutes, they still should have called RAND. They should have called 911, and law enforcement should have been out there. But these teachers said, yeah, we were there for an hour and a half. RAND was never notified. 911 was never called. And so that's the purpose of putting a plan in place, that you would follow it. But if the school district, it starts with the school district. If the school district isn't going to follow the plan, how can law enforcement ever step into the gap and keep these kids safe?
It's very difficult. That's what we saw in.
Did you hear about that?
Tell me.
I had 6 teachers in my office from Oak Ridge North.
Yeah.
How long ago, Trent?
Wasn't a couple weeks or so.
And Tim Fox was one of them. He's one of the prominent physics teachers in the
Yeah.
state.
Yeah.
One of my fans, not really.
Yeah.
But there was a young woman there from Hamburg, New York. She had to have been in her late 20s, early 30s, and she said, I cowered in fear for an hour and a half in our classroom last year. We thought we had an active shooter. We were in full lockdown for an hour and a half. Now, Oak Ridge said, oh, for 5 minutes, maybe for 5 minutes. I'm like, why didn't you call? It's a matter of seconds, not a matter of
Right,
minutes. It's a matter of
absolutely.
seconds. Why didn't
Sure.
you call 911? Why didn't RAND find out about it? Well, okay, next time we will. It was an hour and a half, according to these teachers. And Sheriff's Department was never called. But the point is that an active shooter response plan starts with the campus calling 911 to dispatch first responders and law enforcement.
That's right.
And so if they're not doing their part, we can do all the training that we want. Law
That's right.
enforcement can do all the training that they want to.
That's right. Where was the school police at all this?
Oh, they were there.
They were there.
But
But what, I mean,
there's a handful of them.
ISD,
Yeah,
ISD
yeah.
police compared to,
Oh, yeah. Total different animal, for sure.
And there's not enough of them to clear schools.
Stuff and making sure that they get it done. Yeah. But what they want to do is they will make. Teeny, why don't you
One more
what
time,
takes
go
place
there, I
in
got
the
background.
community?
Jason Millsaps.
Okay, Ops Emergency Management.
Yes.
How y'all involved in this part of it?
So several months ago, I was contacted by the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office to come out and look at this facility to see if it would be something that we would want to keep long-term, or at least even a short-term period for training to our special threat plan that we have in the county. Came out here while the SWAT team was training that day. It was a hot July day. Looked at the facility. It's a unique facility, nothing like it in the state. And we decided to reach out to the landlord and find out what we could do to rent the facility for a short-term period and use it as an active shooter training facility and a tactical response facility for training all of our officers, EMS, and firefighters on the response to and to how to address active shooter situations.
The school is perfect.
Yeah, it's a perfect
Tell me some of the-
opportunity for it.
Tell me some of the things that you've got in here that.
Well, besides classrooms, every classroom is almost fully furnished with desks and chairs and bookcases and everything else. As it was abandoned, they just left everything behind, which enables our training to the maximum because the trainer who's training that day could simulate a number of scenarios in each classroom, in each hallway, using that furniture, as students would do certain things as they're trained to do to hide from a perpetrator. That you'll find desks cornered in one area, away from the door. There's a number of things that help make it as a real world as possible for our guys. Not to mention the size and the dynamic that we have here. There's nothing like it that we can use on a full-time basis like this anywhere in the state that I'm aware of. So.
I said it's able to section this off for basically different scenarios at the same
Sure.
time.
Yeah, we have 4 lit up because it sat vacant for a number of months. The thieves came in and stripped it of copper, so it has no electricity or running water or HVAC. So the county has had to rent facilities to bring in portable HVAC and power. And so as a result of that, we have 4 classroom corridors and a cafeteria corridor that has powered and air conditioned for training. And then there's other areas of the school that are unpowered and unair conditioned, which also comes useful in training as the tactical side of things. They'll do low light simulation and things like that for official training. So.
It's very steady.
building codes and
Typically, they're standard. Strict. And you look at architectural firms, this is all that they do, is schools. And so, yeah, you don't see schools built like this anymore.
Well, unfortunately, that's the thing. I do see schools built like this. So we were just
Not like,
talking
I mean,
about
Yeah.
in current,
Willis opened a brand new school, just like
you're
well,
kidding me.
Even bigger than that.
Yeah.
They have windows.
whole bodies.
You're kidding.
No,
No.
no, this is a still active design for schools. It's aesthetic, it allows light in, and they think because it's the safety glass that they're safe.
It's not,
It is against a fist, but it is not against a bullet.
not
So,
against a bullet.
Nope. So, and you can
That's
actually see some spin
staggering.
rounds. These are sim rounds on the wall, by the way. The sim rounds on the glass is where an officer came in and took the pie and took the tactical
Hey,
look into
so-
this classroom and saw the bad guy and shot at the bad
Let's
guy
do
through the
this.
glass.
Why don't you, we
So-
need to set up, basically, the way it was set up, it basically left half of the classroom in the dark so that you could move the whole class into a corner and an active shooter couldn't see that anybody was in there.
The way they would do that for something like this to retrofit is they'd build a cinder block wall to here.
Right,
And it would be 4 foot high, and so this is your safety corridor right here.
yeah. But that was an Indiana school
Yeah.
that was several,
Concrete, and you can solve a lot of problems. Or the avoid, deny, defend model, either one, they would use these big tables and they could push them up against the doors and block the view and block the door. And as many things as they can put between them and the door would be appropriate, and then get over in the area away from the door. But, you know, the time is of the essence when you have seconds. And it's hard to say because you've not been in the building with live fire going on, but if I was down in another corridor shooting a sim round, you would not hear it necessarily over here, especially in the classroom with the door closed. So through Montgomery County 911 and partnership with all the school districts, the schools are going to receive an alert program for their phone. It's an app, and it allows the teachers to communicate with each other that there's a threat on campus by pushing one. It's a panic button alert. They push the button, you know, I need EMS in my room, there's a medical emergency, or hey, there's an active shooter emergency. It goes out to everyone within the geo-fenced area of the campus, and then they can also be notified when the threat has gone away as well. And Willis ISD is the current model for that. They use it now, and as a result of their success with that, we're purchasing that program for every campus in the county 911 is. So that program is about $1,200.
Okay.
Cost of the program is about $1,200 per campus, and that basically sets up the geofence area to allow that to occur. So if the teacher accidentally discharges their panic button at the Walmart down the street, it would go off, but it wouldn't necessarily tell the 911 dispatcher where in the campus they are because she's not within the geofence. It would let the 911 director know that there's a problem somewhere else. But if they're in the geofenced area, it would say you have a problem at Kiefer Middle School in classroom 101 in this area, and as more panic buttons go off, you know you have issues in those corridors based on that. And it helps law enforcement respond specifically to the threat.
How long is it going to take to implement this?
Should be less than 6 months. So Willis rolled it out fairly quickly once they got the program going, and we could do that pretty quickly with all the other campuses. So the campuses are going to pick up the
you said
cost
90.
after, and 911's going to pay for it for the first couple of years, and then the schools are going to start picking up the cost after that. So it's about $407,000 a year, and so it's not a lot of money in the scheme of things. And I think the districts can afford that all on their own. Giving them something for free, incentivizing. See the slate table. This last classroom's got.
It's really pretty amazing. You know, when you go through and you look at all this equipment,
Okay, Jim.
you know, the upside to them abandoning all this equipment here, virtually everything, they literally just got up and left, and then the private equity firm bought this. But now, by it all being here, we are able to train in real-world scenarios. And they can set it up exactly the way they want. You got classroom equipment. I mean, you have kitchen equipment, you got cafeteria, you've got the gymnasium, just as if it was a real situation. So from that perspective, all this stuff being left behind is a blessing to us.
yeah.
tell, some of them are very hard to get through. So you're now having to breach that door in a way that may harm others on the other side, so.
You're saying you found quite a few other keys?
Yeah, we found stacks and stacks of keys in the building that we've gone through methodically trying to find a master key that would open everything for us, and we've not. We have found that each key opens its own individual assigned door, and as a result of that, that's a dangerous situation as well for a tactical response, having no one key to open everything.
556, yeah.
Oh, ow. God dang.
That is a, hang on a second.
It's 556.
Here it was much cooler. It's like, oh, okay, we'll leave it. So in the corridors, we've allowed it to be one duct down the. So, based on any kind of approach from the hall side, not the door side, and we can see that guy probably did the corner or close to the corner and take that shot. So. No, this is Simrons. So this is where bad guy was standing. So this is where bad guy was standing in this simulated incident, because you can see the rounds on the wall. So they took a shot at him from outside before they breached the room and came in.
You've got 4 feet of space to hide in the corner with that glass like that.
Yep. So.
Are you gonna use those two?
No, they're completely inhabitable.
Just
Yeah.
the size of this campus right here, what are you looking at?
About 150,000 square feet just on this side, this part of the campus
So
alone.
plenty of room to train in.
Absolutely, yeah.
What is the biggest building you've got that they currently train in around Montgomery County they had prior to this?
Well, we've used our office buildings before, which are bigger because they have multiple stories. The only other building that's in comparable size is our warehouse at 68,000 square feet.
But nothing really to simulate?
Not to simulate a building that would be occupied by that many people. A warehouse situation is a scenario that would run out too, an industrial type accident shooting. And you've got, racks and aisles and things like that, forklifts, but you wouldn't have hundreds of thousands of people in that building like you would in a school where you have up to 2,000 people in this building. So.
Like a city, and all other duties assigned.
And I didn't bring it out to the warehouse to see what we can stop because I would.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
So you can do alert 1 and 2 in this facility. Well, those are law enforcement training programs. They're multiple hours, 40, 50 hours in those cases. You get certified and trained in those. And then you have the AIR program, which is AAIR, which is the Integrated Attack Response program. Those are designed for EMS and firefighters on how to respond to an active shooter situation that they may be coming into a warm or hot zone with police officers to train. Yeah. It's
How much hours?
they left leftovers when they left.
Certainly there's not pizza in there.
There was.
Oh, come on, this is an educational campus, there's a science wing,
Yes. So the Montgomery campus team is with Sheriff's Office. And then we have the bombs trying to find a master, and we've been unsuccessful still. Yeah.
Wash your dryer in there and everything that they left.